today. Former advisor to Margaret Thatcher and President Trump, John Brown, and Policy Director for America First, Curtis Ellis. So, John, are we getting toward the bottom of this and finding our way back up, or is this going to be a deep, dark something we don't really want to know about?
Well, I think as far as unemployment is concerned, we're nearing the bottom. I think America is going to get down to work again. American enterprise and get up and go is going to come through, and businesses are going to start up. But several businesses, of course, will never start up, a lot of them small businesses. The delays caused to the PPP program have killed off unnecessarily due to Democratic delays in Congress, or Democrat delays, have killed a lot of businesses. They'll never survive. So it'll pick up slowly. But the worst thing to come, in my view, is the massive expenditures that have had to be incurred as a result. In other words, the $3 trillion issue of new money by the Fed and the huge raising of more and more debt by the government will come back to haunt us in a monetary and financial sense. And that's by far the biggest danger, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, Curtis, you agree?
Well, I agree that we must immediately end these lockdowns. We've seen these massive protests in the street. Nobody's social distancing. No one's doing anything. The only thing we're shutting down right now is not COVID, but business and economic activity. Much of the country is opening up, but you got to look at a lot of these places have 27-phase reopening plans, and even, for instance, Western Pennsylvania, phase green phase, only 75% of the people can come back to work. It's time to end this charade. We're seeing this terrible impact. I expect a second wave of economic trouble, and that's going to come when you start to see people defaulting on their mortgages. Anyone who's holding commercial real estate and has tenants who haven't paid for 3 months, they're not paying their mortgage. And then we could have a repeat of the financial meltdown of 2008, 2009, because nobody knows who holds the mortgages anymore. It's not as simple as the savings and loan.
That's true.
Yes, it's going to be, I totally agree. And it's going to be bank loans, all sorts of debt are going to default, massive bankruptcies, massive loan defaults. So it's going to put the banks under pressure yet again. And the worst thing about this is, thanks to the Obama-era Dodd-Frank Act, banks will no longer be bailed out. They will bail in, which puts depositors at risk of freezing their deposits or confiscating deposits.
Yeah.
And that is a very great risk to me, and another example of Democrat government.
Curtis, both of you are out of your minds if you look at Wall Street, right? I mean, Wall Street seems to think everything's fine. Don't worry, be happy. We're going to recover.
Well, look at this. Very good point you raise. Consider the case of the Washington Post, who's been pushing this whole COVID lockdown. We're all going to die if you go out to the playground with your kids. Who's it owned by? It's owned by Jeff Bezos. What does he own? Amazon. Amazon's doing wonderfully. Walmart's doing wonderfully. Big business. The giant corporations have been allowed to remain open. Wall Street's still in business. The big corporations, great. Small business are the ones taking it in the neck. They happen to be, just coincidentally, Trump supporters, Republican-leaning outfits, people who own their own business, like to take care of themselves. The giant corporations you see in this latest, as we've moved from pandemic to pandemonium, these giant corporations are all out there saluting and kneeling to Black Lives Matter, and they're on board with the whole social justice leftist agenda. It's the small holder that has been the bedrock of American democracy, and that's what's being undermined by the continued lockdown.
Yeah, 40%, 40% of the GDP, small business. I'm sorry, Ali, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I was going to just say basically the small business. I mean, do you see small businesses recovering at all, John?
Well, they will recover, but it's going to be tough for them for the reasons that have just been stated. Plus, a lot of them, because of the delays imposed by the Democrat Party in Congress in their aid of the PPP plan, of course, a lot will have gone unnecessarily, have died. And of course, regarding the stock market and the disconnect with the real economy, it's because a lot of the money from the Fed will go into keeping markets up.
Yeah, don't fight the Fed, right? Don't fight the Fed.
Well, that used to be the great mantra. And I'm beginning to think that maybe it's becoming out of date.
Okay. Gentlemen, we're going to have to stop it there. We'll talk to you again next hour. Thank you very much, John Brown and Curtis Ellis. And keep it here, folks, on American Agenda.